This week, I get interviewed. It's something that rarely happens, but we got featured in a podcast, and the energy of it was so good, and the answers that came from it were so good. We thought we would share it with all of you. If you are having difficulties finding your purpose, finding peace, wanting questions about life, about connecting to the divine, about some things that matter to you, I think that you're going to enjoy this conversation. So sit back, relax, enjoy this episode. As always, make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you never miss one of our episodes, and leave a comment because we love hearing from you and we love seeing your thoughts on the show.
I'm meeting Denny Morel. Denny is a wonderful life coach, a spiritual leader, and someone everyone knows out there. Denny, thank you so much for being here today. I'm so happy to meet you.
Thank you for having me. I don't know that everyone knows, but whoever knows, I'm glad you guys know our work. So it's nice to be here with you.
Thank you, Denny. Today we're going to be real, raw, and authentic on my podcast. And we're going to be here to help you on your healing journey by sharing personal stories and talking about you, Denny. Denny, your life, things that maybe people don't know, maybe they do, but also things behind the success story of your life. I mean, people know you as the coach, as the spiritual leader. You have retreats, you have coaching all around the globe, but there's more to you than maybe just the success. Somehow, I read a bit about you and I was like, wow, there is a whole story about you, how you transformed yourself in your whole life.
What would you like to know?
You started your journey in California or New York?
I was born in New York, moved to California. My parents split when I was 13 years old. And my mom took myself and my two younger brothers and moved us to California. And what's really interesting is what brought me here to Austin was my ex-wife, when we split, was bringing my oldest son at 13 and his two youngest siblings to Austin. It was the exact same scenario. 3 boys, the oldest was 13. And in that moment, I had a choice, which was never a choice. I didn't even think twice about it. I remember I had just built this beautiful like bachelor pad, and my ego loved it because I tore the house down. I remodeled it. I was up on top of the mountain. It was during COVID, and I remember loving COVID because I was like by myself in this like little bachelor pad like palace, right? And right when I started to settle in, my ex-wife says, I'm moving to Texas. And you know, in hindsight, there may have been a little like, how come he got what he wanted? How come he got the house and I don't? Which it's fine. Whatever it was, I had a choice to make. And I think that's the beauty of life, is that in every moment we have choices. We have choices about how we're going to react. We have choices about how we're going to interpret things. We have choices about how we're going to choose to respond to things. And what happens that most of us don't realize is that we choose from our unconscious patterns, from our unconscious woundings, from our unconscious desires to be seen and heard and to defend and argue and fight. And more than anything, to protect and prove that we are right and you are wrong. And yet when we move closer and closer into our spirit and into our energy, and into the truth of who we are, we start choosing from a different place. We start choosing from a place that is more centered in love and more centered in the truth of who we all are. Not to say that those choices will be perfect, but the deeper and deeper you go inside, the more and more that those choices end up being based off of light and love and not fear and darkness. And that's when life, I think, tends to get like really smooth and in flow, you know? And so in that moment, I don't even think I chose my kids. It wasn't that. I chose my truth, which was I can't live away from my kids. I can't do that because I know what that was like for me when my dad lived far away from me. And I was not going to allow that happen. So anyways, we came to check out Texas and we settled here on Austin. And, for me, for the work I do, for the energy we're involved in, if you're going to live anywhere in the US right now, it's Austin, Texas. One of the biggest parts of awakening is realizing that your body, your vessel, and how you treat it affects everything else in your life. In today's world, our food supply is depleted and our soil is stripped of the vital nutrients that our bodies need to thrive. No matter how clean you eat, it's nearly impossible to get everything that your body requires for optimal health. And that's why Kono has truly changed my life, because their supplements are designed to fill those gaps. They use holistic ingredients sourced from regenerative agriculture, which restores the soil while producing nutrient-dense ingredients to help your body heal and thrive. My two favorite products right now are the Full Body Hydrate, which has electrolytes and ocean-based trace minerals for hydration. And they also make a vanilla beef protein powder that's dairy-free, easy to digest, and made from grass-fed bone broth. Guys, this thing tastes incredible. If you're serious about awakening, start by giving your body what it truly needs to thrive. Visit kononutrition.com and use the code DANNY for 25% off your first subscription order or 10% off any regular purchase order.
It's beautiful. I'm here only for, let's say, half a day, and I'm already in love with it.
Here's the key. What do you feel?
Positive energy.
Yeah.
It was immediately a feeling of...
That's exactly what it, from the airport.
Yeah.
From the moment you land, and just as, and I'd like to get into this topic, is like everything is energy. And often we as human beings don't realize that everything is energy. And so we surround ourselves with people that are bad energy. We go to supermarkets that are bad energy. We get our food from places that are bad energy. We watch TV, it's bad energy. We live in cities that are bad energy. And it's not to say that you can't transcend that energy. But there's something that happens when you are living in a city, in an area where there's dense energy. You could feel it. It's constantly weighing on you. It makes you want to complain more. It makes you want to fight and argue more. It makes you want to be better than or less than, because the energy of separation wants that for us. It wants to keep us from our heart and soul. And this is why when you go on vacation, you feel, because you reconnect to nature.
That is so true.
That's right. This is why when you go walk in the forest, or you go for a hike, or you go on the beach, you feel, because you're returning to the truth of how we human beings are meant to live.
It's interesting you say that. This morning I was walking in the park here in Austin, and immediately I saw the squirrels around, and there was the beautiful water and the view.
Yeah.
And I felt like my nervous system was calming down. And as a release, and that's a bit of how I do it, I started crying, but more a gratefulness cry. It was not a cry out of sadness. It was like, oh my God, I'm so grateful I can be here. This is just beautiful energy. But how did you tap into this energy yourself? Was there a practice that you did, or certain things that give you a sort of alignment?
The first part, I want to address that. And I also just want to ask you this other question. But the first part is that's Mother Nature's healing ability. We don't realize that Mother Nature is us, that the planet is us. It's an extension of us. We are so used to wearing these things, these shoes, right? That we spend so much money on that we don't realize that our nature is to walk barefoot. Because at the bottom of our feet, we have feet chakras. And those feet, if we were to open it, for anyone that deals with anxiety or deals with depression or deals with just go ground on Mother Nature for 30 minutes and literally visualize from the bottom of your feet like a door opening and just declare and say, Mother Nature, please take anything that is not vibrating at 100% unconditional love. Take it from my mind, my heart, my higher mind, my higher heart, my body, my third dimensional, fifth dimensional body. Take it from my heart and soul and just cleanse it of me. And you will literally see that she will take it from you. A lot of the mental and emotional anguish that human beings deal with are 100% unnecessary, and they're caused from a disconnection with the planet.
So your advice is go into nature, walk barefoot, or, slow down?
I mean, that would be a great start.
Mm-hmm.
When you ask me, how did you get connected to this energy? I didn't even know what energy was. I was so busy trying to look good and make a lot of money and build a big business and drive a fancy car and have the latest clothes and get big muscles. I was doing the shit
Ego-driven.
that this society tells us we need to do in order to feel seen, loved, appreciated, accomplished. Quite frankly, in order to appease the hidden wounds that we have deep inside our heart and soul that we don't realize we are masking with the clothes and the cars and the power and the success and the fame and the stuff. It's all a mask.
Yeah.
And where this began for me was I got to a point in my life where I realized that the mask was no longer working. My mother died and it was time to take the mask off, and I was left with myself. And I didn't even know who the hell that was. I was so busy focused on showing the world what I thought I needed to show the world so that I can get from the world what deep inside of me I was lacking, that I had never once stopped to ask the question, who are you? Because the truth is, I was scared to ask that question. That's the truth.
Yeah.
And when my mom died, I was forced.
How, if I may ask?
Well, right before my mom died, I had an issue with my church. Not my church in particular, but I had an issue with Christianity. And the issue was, without getting into details, the issue was that I was a part of a business where the guy used Christianity and God to hook you into the business, right? And I know, back then, or, looking back then, I would have never saw that. And it's very difficult to see if you don't understand energy. We're all walking around so blind that we can't see what's right in front of us. And as a result, we follow people, we look up to people, we admire people that are deeply broken and wounded human beings. And it's not to say that that's bad.
Yeah.
It's just we're unconscious of this stuff, So I was unconscious of it. Well, make a long story short, the business fell apart and they actually took all my money from me, for myself, my brother, and my mother, and left us with zero, like absolutely zero. And when I called the guy for help, thinking that he was a god,
Good guy,
good, nothing. And so that broke my heart. And I know what most people say that are religious, for example. They say, oh, well, we're sorry that you had a hard time, but God didn't let you down. Man let you down. No, that's bullshit. The energy that was living inside of that man, right?
Yeah.
Caused this outcome. And the energy is so powerful that the belief in something out here, it can appease the mind and it can make the show. It's the same show that I was doing. What religion does is it gives you another show for you to be a part of so that you could feel that you have the answer and they don't. It's ego, 100%.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Well, it's all it is. All religion is separation. It's another vehicle to keep you separate, to keep me and you separate. Why? Because I believe one thing, and I believe Jesus is coming back. You believe Allah is coming back. Who's right?
We don't know, but no one.
Well, I'll tell you who's right. You're right to you.
To me, it's my
And
truth.
I'm right to me. But what's the truth? That's where the journey begins. When you have the courage to go, it's the same thing with Republican and Democrat. Who's right? You're right to you, and I'm right to me. But what's the truth? It's the same thing with Santa Claus is real or not real. Who's right?
Yeah.
To the 4-year-old, you're right. Santa Claus is real.
Yeah.
But to me, the adult, I already went through the letdown. Santa Claus isn't real. And that's what really is happening when you open yourself to real spirituality. You understand that a lot of the beliefs that you once believed, and you believe them as truth, maybe, just maybe, aren't the actual truth. And that maybe, just maybe, the very thing that has you believing you're right and they're wrong, and you believing that you're right and I'm wrong, has been created by an energy that was caused to keep us separate from the truth.
Because we're following a kind of a blueprint of someone else, or something that's been presented to us as a truth, and we should follow.
Right, which keeps you in belief and not knowing.
And knowing is authentic self?
Knowing is where knowing is where all of the masks fall away and all of the lies fall away and all of your fear has to fall away, because there's only one thing that can take you into the truth, and that's courage. You have to have the courage to go, okay, my whole life I've been told that this is what I should believe. Now it's time for me to discover what's the truth.
That means stripping everything away.
That means
that
stripping
you know.
everything away. Everything away. And that is the deepest fear of humanity. Can I tell you why?
Yeah, please.
Because if you're going to strip everything away, you're going to strip eventually everything that is blocking you from what is actually only true, which is love.
Love for yourself or for others, or what kind of love?
Look what you just did. Love for yourself or from others. Well, what was that? That's separation.
Oh.
That's me and you are separate. No, love is you are love. I am love. That means we are.
Love.
And we are.
Together.
And we are.
United.
And
one.
We're one.
That's wonderful. I find this beautiful. It makes me even emotional talking about it.
What did you feel?
Moved.
Because the truth is moving in you. So now let's take it a step further. If you are love and I am love, is the tree love?
Yeah.
Is the dog love?
Also.
Is the horse love?
Yes.
Then what am I and what are you?
We all love.
That's right. And therefore, we are one with God. And we are the creator of our lives. And the life that we live, we are literally creating it all from the energy that lives inside of us. And the more that we live in fear, the more that we deal with things like ADHD and subscription medication and anxiety and depression and all of that. And none of that is who we actually are. We all are actually love, peace, and abundance.
That's a beautiful thing, because when you say that, then I'm really just thinking we're trying to fix something or be a version of ourselves for society, but that doesn't mean we are authentically true to ourselves or ever find our real identity.
Right. We are trying to do something because we believe in the doing of that thing, we will finally get everything we've been searching for inside.
And if someone asked, who has maybe never done any work so far, or is hitting rock bottom, or feel like they're like struggling in life, what would you say to them? Where do they start with all of this? Or where did you start in your journey?
Yeah, so I'll tell you where they should start, and I'll tell you where I
Okay.
started. Everyone has a different path. For me, my path was religion. But my religious beliefs came to a crashing halt when my mom died. Because my mom was the one that went out. She went to church 2 times a week. She fed the poor.
Dedicated.
She tithed her money. She did everything. And she still died of cancer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I saw her shrivel away for 5 years, believing, here we go, that Jesus was going to come heal her. But he never came, because he was never supposed to come, because that wasn't his actual message. And so in the anger and the frustration of all of that, no one had answers for me. None of the preachers, none of the pastors, no one. And I wanted answers, because everything I believe now is obviously not true. It can't be true. It can't be true when your mom dies believing that something's going to happen. And what are you going to say? Well, God works in mysterious ways. No. Something either is or something isn't. And so I was so righteous in my religious beliefs. I was the king egomaniac.
Wow, that's one thing to say about yourself.
I was the greatest egomaniac on planet Earth. So if I'm religious, you better believe I'm going to make sure that you know that my way is right and your way is wrong, right? And yet, my mom's death brought me to my knees. And it made me question everything. And in that righteousness, I used to be very righteous about ayahuasca and plant medicine.
How did you get into this? How did you find it?
I found it because I found out about it when I was, Christian, and I would judge it. No, that's the devil, that's evil, that's sin, that's all the words that you're told to say, basically. And then one day, a friend of mine, I saw him on social media. It was right after my mom died, and he was smiling with a face so big. And he was in the jungle somewhere, and I was like, that's not that. I know that guy. That's not his real smile. That's a new smile. And I was so depressed because I was going through a divorce and all these things. And I was like, I want that smile. And in that moment, you ever wanted something so bad?
Yeah.
Like so bad that you're willing to do anything for it, right? I was there.
Wow.
So that's when I asked him, and I said, what did you do? How did you get that smile? And he mentioned ayahuasca. And in that moment, I said, listen to me, Danny. It's either you're going to keep doing the bullshit you've been doing, trying to make everything wrong, or you're just going to surrender, because the proof is in his smile. It's not in what you believe. It's not in what you've been told. It's not in a book. Look at that man's smile. That's actual transformation.
Living proof.
Living proof. It's undeniable. And I thought, I want that. So I went, and the rest is history.
What was your experience, if I may ask?
I mean, every experience is the exact experience that you have to have. But, 13 or 14 times with ayahuasca, 9 or 10 times with mushrooms, all of it in beautiful, safe, protected ceremony. I'll just say it this way. We were outside and you were saying, you have this ability to be aware and emotional intelligence. And how do you do it? 100% of it. I say humbly, I wouldn't be who I am today without the medicine.
What did it change in you?
My life.
Everything. Would you say it changed the person that you were to the person that you are today?
It changed who I am today. It changed who I have been in the lifetimes I have lived before. And it changed. There's no human words. It's not everything. It's more than everything.
for a lot of men out there who, you mentioned this outside, people don't know that. You mentioned, there's a masculine sort of energy and a feminine energy, and you mentioned you tapped into a feminine energy.
Yeah. Yeah, what I was saying is you were asking me, you said, what percentage of your audience is women? And I said like 85%. And you said what most people normally react with, which is something along the lines of, it's a shame that more men don't do this work. Like step number one, if you want to change your life, everything is perfect.
What do you mean? Everything
is perfect. Absolutely everything going on in your life is exactly the way it needs to be. And it is exactly perfect. When you start looking at things in your life from a negative lens, and you wish that things were different, and you wish that you could change the past, and you wish that it would have been different, you are actually in separation from the oneness that you are and the creator that you are of your life.
In lack.
Bingo. It's dark energy's secret tool to keep you stuck in life. The question is, can you get to a place where even what is wrong is right? Because then you'll realize there is no right or wrong.
The hardest part is, and I can totally relate what you're saying, because people don't know or do know, I'm a trauma survivor myself. So in trauma moments, you feel incredibly, obviously, down, low. It's rock bottom. It brings you to the rawest version of yourself, but it's also the most negative version, at least while you're in it, in your life. It feels very lonely, very isolating. And in those moments, believing you can transform, change life, and things can get better is quite hard. But now looking back, and I've done a lot of similar work that you have been doing and that you practice also with people, looking back and being like, this was needed. It needed to go. It needed to happen to me to allow the connection to myself, to feel that warmth within myself that I would not experience. I shared with you the park today, the gratefulness. These moments are beautiful moments. I would not, nothing can buy this.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Would you be the woman you are today without the trauma?
Not at all.
Would you be doing the work that you do today without the trauma?
No.
Would you be helping the people that you help today without the trauma?
Not the same way, on that similar level. No.
Then was the trauma wrong or was it perfect?
Now looking back, it was needed and was perfect. Because it brought me, and that's the challenging part when you're in it, and when you look back, it needed almost to happen so that I could be that version and step almost, it's a bit like how I feel, into that power of being me.
Well, almost, or is that what happened?
That's what happened. It's just my scared,
What does that feel, you saying that right now?
It feels good, but also I'm hesitant.
Yeah.
Because it's saying something out loud. And it's stepping into the uncomfortableness that I try to practice also, but it's hard. To overcome this in the mind is one thing, but saying it and stepping into it for real is different.
Our life can change. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. It's just, can we allow? And when you were saying the masculine and the feminine allows.
So you stepped into your feminine as well?
100%. In order to not miss these episodes or the weekly clips that we provide that will help you in the 3 energies of human mastery, how to change your financial life, how to change your relationship life, and how to heal yourself physically, emotionally, and spiritually, make sure to subscribe right now to the channel. Trust me, it'll be the greatest decision and action you take today, because the value we are committed to bringing you is going to be life-changing. Go ahead and subscribe right now.
Because a lot of men out there, they're struggling. I mean, I think men, and that's really, from my personal lens, But what I've experienced, they struggle a lot and longer in silence because their society also like that's been taught, onto men. Basically, you gotta be strong. You gotta be, the man.
Yeah.
Men don't cry. I mean, that's still sort of a little bit the message men receive. But what would you say to them?
Yeah. Here's why men and women are struggling. There's been a war between men and women and the masculine and feminine for over 500,000 years. At one point in time in our history as humanity, the women were the rulers of the earth because the women are the ones that are connected to the spiritual, and the men or the masculine is connected to the physical. And so what happened a couple thousand years ago, men said, enough of this. We want to be the leaders. And as a result, this is where the change happened. As a result, men eliminated or disregarded anything having to do with the feminine because they disregarded what used to be at the forefront in the past. And with that, they disregarded their heart. And as a result, they started to abuse and mistreat and violate women. Why? Because the woman is the physical representation of the heart. And then the women did the same. In the 60s, what movement started? The feminist movement. And it was born not from love, from pain. Rightfully so, by the way.
Trauma.
But exactly. But then the women did the exact same thing. The women disregarded everything they had known in the past, and they went into the mind and they disregarded the heart. And this is why both are struggling right now, because we have men who have disregarded their feelings, their emotions, their feminine side, and women who society has told to also disregard their feelings, their emotions, and their feminine side. And the truth is that both men and women are both masculine and feminine, and you can never find real balance, happiness, peace, or real love with another human being if you don't find it within yourself first. And the only way to do that is to reconnect to the place that you were told to avoid at all costs, and that's to reconnect with your heart.
But reconnecting with your heart sometimes can be extremely terrifying because you don't know where you're going.
Reconnecting with your heart is the most terrifying thing that a human being can do. Why? Because when a human being's heart is hurt as a little boy or as a little girl, they go into their mind and unconsciously and energetically say to themselves, I will never return there ever again.
Yeah.
This is why look out in society. This is why you have beautiful women who have forgotten that their value is not on the outside. It's on the inside. You have so many women who are so busy altering themselves and literally through OnlyFans using their bodies for money, which, listen, that's wonderful. God bless you. But that's because you think that life is money and that your happiness is found in money. What happens 20 years from now?
They crash.
What happens when your body doesn't look the way it does now?
Depression.
You have all of the money, but you no longer have what you were getting. The attention, the admiration, the glory. You're going to be faced with a very difficult time when you have to come back and realize that who you are is not your body. It's not the exterior. It's in here. And guess what? All of it is perfect because everyone calls into their soul's experience exactly what they have to call in to learn the lesson their soul is here on planet Earth to learn.
I love that. I really do.
So everything is?
Love.
It's perfect.
Energy. And perfect. I love
perfect.
that one.
It's all good.
I love the
It's all
concept
good.
of love Because when you say we have to do the individual work, right? Finding self-love, how do we come together?
Well, think about it this way. Like, do you know how many women probably judge women that are on OnlyFans? Oh, but they're on OnlyFans. No. You are judging them because deep inside you judge yourself.
So it's projection.
100. Anything that you have with another human being is a projection. Anything that is not rooted in love is a projection. There's something about that human being and what they do or how they are or how they act or how they speak or whatever it is that is mirroring back to you something that deep inside of you, you wish you had access to. Maybe it's to be seen. Maybe it's to be admired. Maybe it's to feel confident. Maybe it's to be connected to your body. Whatever it is, in this case, any judgment you have towards someone else is just a reflection of how you deeply feel within yourself.
So basically everything is a lesson learned?
I mean, it depends how many lifetimes you plan to be here. But if you were to tell me right now, Danny, I want to be here for one lifetime, I would tell you, then the journey and the purpose is to go into and disregard and disassociate with any fear in your body, the frequency of it, the energy of it, any of it, and return into the energy of love. And when you do that, you will reach what is called enlightenment. And when you reach enlightenment, there cannot be any separation. That means I'm not separate from you. I'm not separate from him or her. And I am not separate from God. Everything is one. And that is why when Jesus was asked, "Are you God?" and they were ready to kill him for his answer, he was not even separate from, or he didn't even have fear of death, because even death is a part of life's process. That is why he was able to answer. What did he answer? I am that I am. Because when a human being reaches enlightenment, they see God and the view of God as one with themselves.
What would you say for someone who is like really at the beginning of it all? Where do they start?
Go look in the mirror.
Is that what you did?
No, I'm crazy. I'm
So
crazy. I went to Costa Rica and I drank ayahuasca. I'm not, and I am telling everyone, not everyone is ready for that.
Yeah.
But if you're ready for some deep things, go look in the mirror. Go look in the mirror and you're going to start noticing, like I did, I didn't want to look. I was avoiding myself. I was afraid to look in the mirror, right? I had never sat with myself. As a matter of fact, I spent my entire life running away from myself. And looking in the mirror will force you to do the thing that you're afraid of. Is to look at yourself, to be at peace with yourself, to start loving yourself, to start acknowledging yourself. And after you start looking in the mirror, you might have a reaction. You might see your eyes want to point away. You might feel yourself trying to avoid. Listen to me, please. That's the same way you can't look at your partner with your eyes open during lovemaking.
That is so true.
Because how can you look at another human being's soul? How can you connect with another human being if you can't first connect with yourself?
You have to face yourself first.
It's literally impossible.
It's the most scariest thing. I gotta say, from personal experience, that doing that work, it really causes you physical discomfort.
Yeah.
Your body and your mind tell you, get up, don't do it, go away, distract yourself, scroll on social media.
So let me ask you a question though. You ready?
Yes.
You just heard me say, if you're here for one lifetime, what's the goal? To return to love. And if the goal is to return to love, and this is the most beautiful thing, is that all of us, this is how we bring heaven onto earth. All of us return to the truth of who we are, and all of us help each other set each other free. That's when we will experience heaven on earth. That's when war ends. That's when racism ends. That's when poverty ends. All of it ends when it ends inside of you.
this is something I really have to say. Even a year ago, I would have not understood. But now, because I've done this also very healing energy things that I was very skeptical of. And I finally reached a point, I guess it's a point in also a personal healing journey.
Sure.
Where you eventually become open for things. Everything has maybe its time, but your heart opens. It's really not that your mind tells you. It's a heart opening and you're open for things. And I'm like, I couldn't agree more. I'm like nodding along and I noticed, I'm like, yes. This is so beautiful, but this is so hard to put into words, what you're describing.
So don't. Be you. The most magical thing that you can be for humanity is you.
I couldn't agree more. But it's one of the hardest things to actually do for a lot of people out there to be
actually
themselves.
one of the easiest. All that is required is for you to surrender. Is for you to start becoming aware of all of the parts of you that try to make you nervous and afraid and try to keep you locked within yourself and keep you quiet and shy and closed and away, and start becoming aware of it, and little by little have the courage to go, no, it's okay. I don't want to be that anymore. And you start to be you, because you know what? You know who you are.
So it's taking up your space in some ways?
It's
filling your space?
It's letting go.
Mm-hmm.
Taking up and filling is masculine. Do you see the words
I
you
see
use?
that. Yeah.
I have to do something.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying it's
Just be.
let go of and release. You're already you. We're all already us. This is just trying to keep us from being us.
So it's a lot of work here within yourself.
The whole game is here. And so when you say it's hard to put into words, for me it's easy. But that doesn't make me better or different than anybody else. Because for you, there's things that are easy that are hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm. No judgment.
No,
Yeah.
Or comparison.
Super important.
Comparison,
easy we compare,
yes.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Comparison is the thing that robs us of all of the magic of life. You're constantly comparing yourself to what others have, or where others are in life, or how others look, and you know what all of it does is it stops you from seeing the beauty that you are.
Then the negative energy basically
100%.
travels through ours.
The fact that you're here and you're alive is the greatest gift of all.
That's the beautiful message, Denny, that you're saying. Because a lot of people say it always like, yeah, you're good enough, you're worthy. But the way you put it is like, yeah, exactly. Just be you. And don't start from here. Go from here.
Yeah.
And start exploring here and connecting within yourself.
Yeah.
There is no clothes, no materialistic things that even matter.
None of it matters.
No. Denny, I always have a question of everyone who comes to my podcast. If you could travel back in time, can be anywhere, it can be yesterday, it can be in childhood, what would you say to your past self?
Nothing. Because I would not have wanted to avoid anything that I went through. I would not have wanted to experience it any other way. I'm a very hard-headed person, and as a result, hard-headed people are gonna get hard things to deal with in life, and it's okay. Because the magic is on the other side of everything that I have experienced in life, there's been a gift. And I think that's the lesson for us all. If we can allow ourselves to let go of the need to go back and wish it was different, and if we could have changed it, and if we could have taken a different step or made this different investment, that's your head. That's not you. You are love, and you, who you really are, is a perfect embodiment of all that is. And when you can get out of your head and just realize that everything is perfect, you kind of won the game. You're free. And you're free to live. Really live.
Do you feel free?
100%.
And would you say this is...
I'm still... This is why I'm such a proponent of plant medicine. Because what the medicine shows you is that all of life is ceremony. And when you go deep in the work with the medicine, whether it's ayahuasca or cannabis or mushrooms or whatever it is, you no longer are avoiding. Because the thing that keeps people from sitting with ayahuasca, for example, is fear. So literally, she is that powerful that just the mention of the word ayahuasca, you start doing what you do. Oh, it's not for everybody. And so-and-so says that I don't have to do it. And no, the answer is within, but that's your head. That's literally fear personified. That's how powerful she is. You literally just mention her name and you...
True.
And that's how you know there's more to heal.
That's the exploring part, diving into that.
That's it, because the journey of life is to remove fear, to remove judgment, to remove comparison, to remove any negative vibration that lives within you. So if the mention of plant medicine causes you to judge it, well, not everybody. Well, I think it's unfair that, I think you have to, this is not for everybody. You're not here. You're here. You're reacting and responding from here. So it already is working on you, whether you realize it or not, because it is literally providing a mirror for the itty little bits of fear and judgment that live inside of you. And all I was crazy enough to do was recognize it and go, oh shit, then I have to go do it.
So you tapped into your fears instead of avoiding
I went in and in and in and in and in. And when I didn't want to go in, I went in again.
That's a beautiful message. Tapping into your fears. That's the answer to maybe all the questions that we've had,
That's how you can become free.
Would you say healing is a never-ending journey?
Yeah. There's always something.
Do you continue doing something yourself as a daily
I'm
practice?
healing through stuff right now. You get to a point, notice your questions. As a friend, I love you. Do you continue there's nothing to, you get to a point where life, all you have, listen to me.
Yeah.
This is the secret.
Okay.
All you have to do is speak out into existence what you want to happen in your life. Do you want to heal?
Yes.
What do you want to heal?
My heart.
Okay. All you have to do is you close your eyes. Say this right now. Close your eyes and just say, God, I am ready to heal my heart.
I'm ready to heal my heart.
Bring to me
exactly
what I need.
Exactly what I need.
To heal it. The people. The circumstances. The opportunities. Everything. I am ready. I'm ready to go into it. I'm ready to stop avoiding it. I'm ready to heal my heart. And discover who I really am. And so it is. Listen to me. That is how powerful we are.
Wow.
That's all you have to do. Talk to God. I didn't say pray. I didn't say ask. I didn't say hope. Please, could you please? No. Speak. You and the Creator are one. You are the Creator. You are the Savior that you have been waiting for your entire time. Speak it into existence and watch it start happening.
It builds trust within yourself.
It absolutely does. And watch what will start happening in your life from this day forward. Watch. You're going to text me. Oh my God, Danny. Oh my God. Remember last week when I said that thing? Oh my God. Because it's just humanity doesn't know this. But here's the other thing. Be ready.
I am.
Because,
I'm ready.
Because the healing of your heart is no joyride. It's going to get bumpy. And that's the work we do. So come to Awaken, because it's gonna help you tremendously.
I would love to.
Yeah, you're my guest.
Thanks, Denny. I'm
Yeah.
going to be there, and I'm going to share really real, raw, and authentic, also on my podcast, what I'm experiencing.
Beautiful. And let's invite them, because I think it's going to be
course.
beautiful for them to be there as well.
Guys, you should come to Denny's Awakening. You're going to be in Europe as well,
I'm going to be in London.
London?
Yeah.
Where else?
If they go to dannymorel.com/awaken, I'll be in London, I'll be in Austin, and then I'll be in Anaheim. And these are the last 3 that we're going to do live. It breaks my heart saying that. But hotel costs, et cetera, has just gotten out of hand. We want to be able to make it affordable for all of humanity.
That's beautiful.
And so we're going to take it virtual so that the price can come down, obviously. And so, yeah, these are the final 3. And people have called Awaken like 30 years of therapy in 3 days. It's that powerful.
Oh my God, guys, make sure that you get your tickets, because this is the last chance to see Denny live in person. And I am amazed meeting you today in person. It's wonderful. But I also find it incredible that you make it available for people and accessible.
I try my best.
That's amazing. Thank you, Denny, for the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Looking forward to our next meeting then in London.
Let's do it. We'll
and
see
the
you there.
experience.
Yeah, May 31st.
Denny, it's been great. Thank you so much for being
you.
on my podcast. Guys, if you like what I've been doing, if you liked this podcast episode, please comment below what is your takeaway from this powerful episode today. And if you really like what I'm doing, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and really keep on following my stories and my account so that I can keep doing what I'm doing, help you on your healing journey. Thank you so much, and please take good care of yourself. I'll see you in the next episode.